Hi, this is Sandy on a cold winter's day, but I'm dreaming about the Camino. And if you've been dreaming about the Camino and maybe wondering whether to use a tour company or to go the other more traditional route and sleep in albergues, stay with me and I'll give you the pros and cons of both. Okay, let's talk about tour companies. There's a lot of tour companies out there that cater to the older crowd like me, the 60 plus crowd, but obviously to a younger demographic as well. Some of the popular ones are Follow the Camino, Camino Ways, Mac Adventures, Marley Camino, and many others. I'm not being sponsored by anybody. There's just a lot of them out there and you can do your own due diligence. But there are pros and cons. So let's talk about the pros. Well, first and foremost, you get your own room, your own bathroom, your own shower, your own bed, and it's private, which, let's face it, at our age, that is a nice luxury to have. If you've been walking all day and you want your own space, it's nice to have your own room. Second, they supply meals. 100% you get breakfast. Sometimes they offer dinner, lunches, and so on. And that can be a really nice thing because sometimes when you arrive, during siesta time and you're hungry, it's nice to know that you can get a meal. And thirdly, is that all the tour companies also take your bag from one town to the next town so that you only have to carry a day pack. So that is very, very beneficial. Okay, let's talk about the cons of a tour company. Well, it's kind of the opposite of staying in albergues, and that is the price. It's not exactly inexpensive to hire a tour company. They're going to book your accommodation for the entire Camino. So you're going to have to pay for those hotels, which are more expensive than obviously the albergues. And I should say that the hotels that you're staying at are small, like 2-star, 3-star, often family run. You can upgrade during rest days to nicer hotels if you're so inclined. But they're not fancy, but they're all clean. They've all been researched by these tour companies, but they're obviously more expensive. If you can afford it, it's certainly a nice luxury to have, and not carrying that huge pack for 800 kilometers, but rather a day pack can be beneficial as well. The obvious pro to albergues or hostels are the fact that they're very cost effective. So if you're on a limited budget, like most people walking the Camino, the albergues are a very good option. Second, they're ubiquitous. Almost in every town that you will come across, there's going to be 2 or 3 albergues that cater to people walking the Camino. So it's nice to know that when you get to a town, there's going to be a place for you to stay. Third, what I found is the camaraderie. You're going to meet a lot of different people from a lot of different countries. There's communal dinners, there's going out for drinks, and it's just a great way to meet a lot of people on the trail. Now, there are obviously some drawbacks to albergues. First and foremost is the noise. So you're in dormitories for the most part, and let's face it, a lot of people snore, men and women. So that can be a drag after you've walked all day and it's noisy at night. You don't get your own washroom, you don't have your own shower. Sometimes there's a lot more people than there is hot water. And that can be frustrating after a long day of hiking. And the third drawback is the fact that there's no guarantee you're going to get a bed. So you may be walking all day, you get there, you have to line up, and then you find out there's not enough beds. The Camino's popular these days and it could be full. And you've got to either get other accommodation or walk to the next town. So lots of good reasons to stay in albergues, but there are some cons to be aware of. Just a closing comment on the using a tour company versus doing the albergues. I've read in some books and I've heard some people, and I've been walking the trails, that when you stay in a hotel or use a tour company, you're not a true pilgrim. Nonsense. I've done both, and to each their own. But the idea being that a true pilgrim is someone that, roughs it. Well, the true pilgrims back in the day had a burlap sack and a gourd of water and a walking stick. They didn't even carry any money. I mean, today pilgrims have state-of-the-art backpacks and rain gear and walking boots. So, I think that's pushing it a bit far. At the end of the day, the pilgrim is someone who walks the Camino. Whatever you take from your journey on the road, that's between you and the road. And that's really what the Camino is about, not where you sleep at night. So do your research, look at all the options, decide what's best for you, and I wish you best luck, and stay tuned for my next video.